A German city in Brazil. It may sound surprising, but there's actually a German city in Brazil. It is called Blumenau and is located in the state of Santa Catarina in southern Brazil. The city has over 300,000 inhabitants and is known for its quaint half-timbered houses, garden gnomes, and the second largest Oktoberfest in the world. But how did this German city at the other end of the world come into being? What traditions do the inhabitants maintain there, and why is the city still so German? We look at all of these questions in today's video. Enjoy! The foundation of the city goes back to the German entrepreneur Dr. Hermann Bruno Otto Blumenau, who was looking for a new home for himself and other German immigrants in Brazil. So in 1850 he traveled with a small group of 16 other immigrants to the east coast of South America. And he had a clear plan. He wanted to found a colony in the uninhabited jungles of Brazil. He had already acquired the land for it from the Brazilian government and had found a few immigrants in Germany who were convinced by the crazy idea. The piece of land was considered very suitable for agriculture, and so the settlers started to build houses, stables and fields. But the undertaking turned out to be no easy task. Supporter and destroyer at the same time was the great river Itajaí, which created pleasant soils but often caused dramatic floods in a short time. So one of the strongest floods occurred in 1852, destroying everything only 2 years after the first infrastructure was built. But the emigrants were persistent. They gradually got used to the floods and learned to live in harmony with the river. Even though it caused repeated flood disasters over the next decades, the Germans could not be dissuaded from their goal. Thus, the city flourished over time, attracting more and more emigrants in search of a new life. And since these were mainly Germans, German culture and language continued to be cultivated in the middle of the Brazilian jungle. German was also the official language until World War II, when it was replaced by Portuguese as part of a government nationalization campaign. Nevertheless, about half of the inhabitants still have German roots, and many can still speak German as well as Portuguese. In many parts, people also speak a special German with strong Portuguese influence. The city was later also named after its founder, and to this day we also see him on the official flag of Blumenau. Nowadays, the city is mostly known for its German architecture, with magnificent streets and buildings in half-timbered style. But probably the most famous is the Oktoberfest, which takes place there every year. It is a tribute to the famous Munich Oktoberfest and attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over Brazil and all over the world. And so the Oktoberfest in Blumenau is even the largest outside of Germany. And it already comes very close to the original in many ways. There are traditional beer tents, the same songs are played, people wear traditional costumes, and the typical German food and drinks are consumed. The folk festival has been very well received by Brazilians, and it now has over 800,000 annual visitors. So it is the second most important folk festival in all of Brazil, next to the Carnival in Rio. And the city is also otherwise very well known in Brazil, especially as a beer city. There are numerous breweries, various beer gardens, and even its own beer museum. However, Blumenau is not only known for its German culture, but also as an important business location. The city is a center for the textile industry and has also established itself in the high-tech industry in recent years. And tourism has also increased steadily in recent years. Many Brazilians have been attracted by the German culture, which is very unusual for them, and so the city has been able to hold its own until today. Many half-timbered houses and other buildings with German architecture have even been built afterwards to keep the city's uniqueness alive. Overall, Blumenau is a unique city that has kept its German roots, but is also modern and progressive. It is an important part of Brazilian culture and an interesting destination for those who want to learn more about German immigration in Brazil. If you enjoyed this video, I also recommend you my video about the Prussian colonial empire. Just click here and see you there.